everyone, and welcome back to my very windy garden. It's a lovely sunny day, but it's incredibly windy. So today I'm going to do two jobs which I think make a massive impact on my garden, the way it looks at this time of year, but they take very little effort. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to deadhead my large hydrangeas. So this is a large mop head hydrangea. It's very beautiful, but you can see it's still got all of its seed heads attached. Now, if you didn't have time to deadhead your hydrangeas, eventually the wind would just blow them off. But if you have got the energy to give them a quick deadhead, it makes such a difference. So I'll show you these two hydrangeas here. One's a mop head, one's a lace cap. And they looked exactly like that other one I've just shown you yesterday. And I just spent half an hour. It was very pleasant, actually, just standing there, deadheading them. And I just think they look so much better. So for anyone who is new to gardening and doesn't know, and you have a large hydrangea that looks anything like this, what happens is the plant keeps its seed heads on because the seed head protects the bud, which opens up down here. So this is all opened out on mine now. All this green foliage was a tight bud about 2 weeks ago. And what happens is if you get a frost or snow, then that lands on the seed head and it doesn't freeze the little bud. But if you look at it now, it looks a bit scruffy, a bit unhealthy, and it's not. It's just still wearing its winter garb, that's all. So this is really easy to do. So I've got a nice lot of leaves here. I'll snip that one out there, out the middle. He can go there. But if you look at this stem here, this seed head here and that one, they are going down a stem that's quite bare, and it goes all the way down to there. So I just take that whole thing off. And if you do make a mistake and you accidentally, snip something and it comes away and it's got some leaves attached, then don't worry, you're not going to kill the plant by doing that, snipping one or two heads off accidentally. But it's best if you can avoid doing that. This is really rather therapeutic. Just a very easy way to make something look much better in your garden. So yeah, I'm just taking any dead wood away. And again, if you didn't have the sort of skill all the time to take your dead wood out, then it really doesn't matter either. Lovely if you can, but this hydrangea will leaf out so much that any dead wood will be very quickly covered up by leaves. Right, now I've got a lot of dead wood in the middle of this hydrangea, but I've got some leaves there. So I'm going to leave it for the moment, but I think when it's finished flowering, I think I'll be cutting this one stem. Actually, I'm going to cut this big stem back. I'll show you why. So can you see how lovely and leafy and green it is from this direction? But look what it looks like from this direction. And this is the direction of the prevailing wind. So it's having a much harder time, this plant, trying to grow out this way, because a lot of my plants, it's such a windy coastal garden, mine, that a lot of my plants do grow over at a 45-degree angle. And they look very strange for a while, but then when they leaf out, and the borders are so jam-packed that you don't usually notice. And I can remember having little panics about this particular hydrangea last year, thinking, oh my goodness, he's dying. But I'll try and find some footage or a picture of what he looked like when he did flower, and I needn't have worried. But having said that, I've just got the shock of my life there. One of the big deadheads has just blown up the garden past me. I thought it was some kind of rodent. But yes, having said that, if I wanted to give this plant a rest and completely rejuvenate it, then what I could do is I could cut him right back down to the stump. So can you see I've got some new growth coming out right down here? I could take that hydrangea right down there, even lower if I wanted to, and he would all grow again this year. But what I wouldn't get on this mophead hydrangea this year would be any flowers, because this mophead hydrangea flowers on old wood. It flowers on the previous year's wood. So I'll have to make a decision about that. But actually, I think he may need a complete rest and rejuvenation, because I'll tell you the story behind this hydrangea. So 18 years ago now, when we moved into this house, there wasn't a single flowering plant in the garden. There were some trees, 4 trees, but no flowering plants. And we hired a rotavator. It was all laid to lawn. We hired a rotavator. I wish I had pictures of it. And my daughter and my late father-in-law designed the layout of the borders. So my daughter and my father-in-law drew the plan on the back of an old piece of wallpaper. We've still got it. And we followed that design by laying a garden hose out down the garden on the lawn. And then with the rotavator, which we had for the weekend, my husband and my daughter dug all of the grass up and just left this thin thread of grass going through the middle of the garden. But then what we were left with was just basically huge brown muddy borders and no plants. So just down the road from us, so I'm talking 18 years ago now, just down the road from us there was a housing estate, and it was being demolished, and the plants that were in the gardens were just beautiful. People had spent their entire lives creating beautiful gardens, and the bulldozers were just coming in and sort of scooping them out and putting them in the skip. And there were hundreds of houses on this estate, and it was really quite upsetting when we used to go past to see all these gardens just being destroyed. So one day my daughter and I pulled in beside the housing estate, and there was one of these porta cabin things, and the security guard was there, and I said, would it be possible for me to have some of the plants out the garden? We're just creating a garden up the road. And he said, well, I can't do that, but if you want, you can do it. You can dig them out. So I had a little black micra, and this hydrangea was the very first plant that I dug out of one of these gardens from the house that was earmarked to be demolished that week. He said, you better get a move on, because the bulldozers are coming in at the end of the week. So we dug him out, didn't know anything about gardening, and we stuck him in the back of the micro. I couldn't get the door shut. We drove up the road. I'm sure that's illegal. and he was the first plant that I planted here. And then my daughter and I made 5 trips. We went back and we got a rhododendron, which was planted over there. What was the other one we got? They were all this size. They were massive. Oh, a tree peony. Huge. I think we got a Hydrangeas. I mean, we knew nothing about gardening then. We just knew that the plants were beautiful and they were going to go in a skip, and we had no plants and we needed them. So I didn't know that when you dig a big shrub up like this, that really you need to take all the stress off the plant by cutting it right back hard, and that lets the plant grow roots down that year, and the next year it will all bush out, leaf out for you. I didn't know that, so we just put them in. I did know to give it lots and lots of water, all the plants, and we put these 5 shrubs in. And we thought, I can remember looking out the window the next day, out the kitchen window, and I thought, oh my goodness, that's it, the garden is done. So if I have second thoughts and give this hydrangea a rejuvenating hard prune, then I will make a video out just about that. But doesn't that look so much better? And what did that take me? 10 minutes? So right, we'll move to my second job now, which is in this border over here. I'll move nice and slowly so as not to shake the camera. And this is the border underneath my kitchen window here. And what I'm going to do in this border is I'm just going to deadhead all of these daffodils in this area here. And I've got a few beside the sundial over there. Because I think with these gone, this whole border will look so much neater. And as always, apologies to all gardeners who know this, but for anybody new to gardening, so when the daffodil has finished, or the tulip, what you want to do is, you see that papery brown neck there, that collar that surrounds the seed pod there, you want to snip off just below the collar. Just like that. And what you do is you leave these green stems. So it's very important to leave these green stems. You don't need to tie them up or anything. You'll not notice them once the dead heads are off. The dead heads draw your attention, but the green stems won't. Eventually they do go brown. And that's why it's important to leave them, because as they lose their colour, the food goes back down the stems and into the bulbs that are underground, and it will feed your bulbs. If you thought that's far too messy and you cut all the green off, then your bulbs don't get any food for the next year, and they'll not be able to produce a lovely flower the next year. You might get a flower, but it won't be nice and big and healthy. So just a quick deadhead here. Actually, I just throw those deadheads into the border. You're not going to notice them. And also, by cutting the dead heads off, the bulb stops trying to produce seeds in that seed head. So it saves its energy that way. You see how when you take the dead heads off, it just looks like nice green foliage, doesn't it? Now that is a massive display of daffodils. It's one of the first to come up in my garden and herald the spring. It's just lovely. Some lovely wallflowers there as well. That I can't believe how well they're flowering. I didn't get the wallflower cut back and it's a bit straggly, but my goodness, what a lovely display. So I'll put a link to the video where I show you what I do in this area when all this green foliage really starts to lose its body and it starts to collapse down. It just sort of looks very messy, but it's not ready to cut back or take out. And because there's so many bulbs in this one little patch here, I really can't plant anything else here. you know, I would just be destroying the bulbs if I say wanted to plant a shrub here to take the place of the daffodils. I would never want that. So what I do in this video is I position tubs of plants with shrubs in them. So I've got a lovely black planter with a huge hydrangea. So that was flowering there. And then I think I had coleus all around the front of it. And you really couldn't see the planter, so you couldn't tell that it was in a tub. It just looked like a shrub in the border. So I love this border. I love it all year round, but it's a beautiful spring border. I'll just quickly tell you what's in. So I've got white honesty coming up there, grew that from seed. I've got a clematis over there, baby one, which needs tying in. And then I've got a beautiful big clematis growing up this trellis. This is a beautiful Sarah Bernhardt peony, and there's another one over there as well. So you can see how late I am getting my plant supports in. They should have been in a week ago. Once the peonies start growing, they just take off. Huge. I'll put a photograph up of what this border looks like when the peonies are open. This is a very early flowering white clematis. So I'm filming this, I think it's the 17th of April today. So what is this one? Early Sensation. It's so pretty. And it's just as pretty when the flowers go over and the seed heads come up, because they're just so beautiful. They're all fuzzy. I've got a white hydrangea growing in this area because this gets early morning sun, this border, but then it's shade the rest of the day. You can see the clematis has grown into the hydrangea and this beautiful peach rose. Anyway, as usual, I've gone off on a tangent about plants, so I'll stop there. So, right, I think I'll just leave it there for today. That was just two really easy tasks. Took no time at all, did it? And yet I think it's made such a difference. It's a bit unfair, isn't it? Because we can spend, 2 hours in the borders weeding and that, and it looks no different to us. Nobody else notices either. But you do a quick job like this, quick tidy up, or whiz over with the lawnmower, and all of a sudden the garden looks manicured as if you spent hours doing it. And I've really enjoyed it. I've got my vitamin D for the day and a little bit of exercise, and I've really enjoyed chatting with you. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.